your cloud journey, what is continuous integration, continuous deployment, and what's all that about. As you can see, I have automate on my t-shirt. So it's all about how do you automate, in the cloud. And we have a fantastic speaker today, very well experienced speaker. His name is Raphael Gabmomo. He has years of experience as a cloud engineer. He's also a DevOps practitioner. So when you're talking about tools like GitHub, GitLab, Jenkins, when you're talking of continuous integration, when you're talking of both Azure and AWS, even GCP Cloud, he's the guy. He also has experience around Red Hat. Oh, I could go on and on about the number of years of experience that he has working in cloud technology. So we're super excited to have you with us today, Raphael. Thank you so much for offering your time and your wealth of experience giving back to the community. We are super grateful.
Thank you for the Superman introduction. I'm very excited to be holding this session with you. And guys, if you don't know her, she's a very special person. She's the superwoman of Africa. With anything, all these things that we are doing, she's our chair lady.
Yeah, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Foyin Olajide Bello, and I'll be the moderator for today's session. So please, if you have any questions as we go along the way, because the content today is quite a lot. So we encourage you to drop those questions in the chat box, and I will see them and immediately call Raphael's attention to it. So please don't feel shy to ask your questions. As it comes to you, drop it in the window and we'll take them as we progress. Thank you so much. Over to you, Raphael.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so happy to have you in this session today. I'm sure that you're here because, oh man, you finished your AZ900. You probably did your AZ200, AZ104 or 204, and you want to take the next step forward. Okay. So, like we say in our community, okay, we think that we all should go for easy money. Okay, you all know what easy money is if you are logged into this session. So your one step ahead towards getting easy money is AZ400. So you might want to stay glued. You might want to pay full attention and follow all the instructions. And ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't stop here. The series continues even after August. Okay, the next leader of the community will be taking over, so to make sure that each of the topics are fully covered till we prepare you for AZ400 examination. So sit tight and enjoy this ride with me. So firstly, we shall be hold on. So a preview first. So a little overview. So this is today's topic will cover introduction to DevOps, how to choose the right projects. We shall look at team structure. We shall look at how to migrate to Azure DevOps. We shall look at introduction to source control. We shall look at the different types of source control. We shall also be looking at how to work with Azure repos and GitLab. Not only that, we shall look at plan with Agile, GitHub project, and Azure bot. Lastly, okay, even if we don't have enough time to look at the lab, I shall be dropping a link so that you okay. So before we start, we have a little. Let's begin with trivia and a little story time. So I hope that you got the question. Okay, I want to pick your interest a little bit before we start. So, can someone tell me in the chat window who owns GitHub and who owns Azure DevOps? So I want to see the first person, and if I want to see the first person that will get the answer. Let someone tell me who owns GitHub and who owns Azure DevOps. Which company? Oh, I think we have an answer. Okay. Okay, so someone said Microsoft. So you are not wrong. You're very correct. Okay, so it takes us to the next part of the trivia. Okay, so I'm going to be telling us the tale of how Microsoft ended with two DevOps tools. You got it very correctly. You answered Microsoft. So how did Microsoft end up owning GitHub and owning Azure DevOps? Okay, so now I'm going to tell you about it. Okay, so now GitHub, a very long time ago, okay, Microsoft used to own a product that is called Team Foundation Server. So I'm telling you the genesis of how this came to be. Okay, so Microsoft used to own a product that is called Team Foundation Server. And currently we have the cloud, things are going so smoothly, things are a little bit different. Okay, so at that time, Microsoft decided to have an online version of Team Foundation Server. Okay, so the online version became what the name became Visual Studio Online. So later the name was changed to Visual Studio Team Services, and finally the name was later changed to Azure DevOps. So I hope that by now you already understand how Azure DevOps came about. It used to be something else, and with the transitions, it finally became Azure DevOps. Then lastly, in 2018, Microsoft bought GitHub. So, and over the years, you would agree with me that Azure DevOps has become a very mature tool. It has passed through all the stages of. There is no developer or company that would argue Azure DevOps is not a child's play anymore. It has transitioned from that beginning time when it used to be Team Foundation Server, and it compares heavily with now that we've had the trivia, we've told the stories. Let's begin with the lecture proper. Okay, who can tell us what? Okay, who can tell us what does? Oh yeah. Okay, the tools. We've already mentioned them. I think there's a little typo error. So the tools are Azure DevOps and GitHub. The tools. So let's push forward. Okay, so going forward, we shall be looking at. Wait, this thing is blocking my view. Hold on. So the learning objective today, we shall be describing, first of all, the benefit of source control. We shall look at Azure DevOps, Azure repos, GitHub, how to migrate from Team Foundation Virtual Control to Git. So we shall be looking at all these very, very critical components that would make you a AZ400 badass. Sorry for using bad word, but it's fine. So let's start properly. Introduction to DevOps. Page seems not to be responding. Oh, my network. Okay, I think I'll off my camera so that it can enhance the quality. So firstly, what is DevOps? Guys, what is DevOps? DevOps is just the union of people, processes, products to enable continuous delivery of value to end users. Okay, so there are no two ways to it. Every company wants, at the end of everything, that they want to
Welcome to the Pride of Symbols, a people driven by the passion for excellence and the courage to take on big challenges and see them through. With integrity of mind and systems, our words, structures, and processes are always dependable. We are proud of who we are what we do, and what we stand for. Firm is our commitment to the vision to build.
Okay, so I think my network is good now. Sorry for the little interruption. My network was trying to play some tricks on me. So guys, what I was trying to tell you, what is the value your MTN recharge card of 1,000 naira that you bought? What is that value you get? The value you get from that recharge card you bought is being able to use that recharge card to make the calls that it was meant to give to you. So the truth about it is every company wants to provide value to its users. So we have come to a very critical stage in the use of IT services that companies want to do things very fast. MTN promised you that, okay, you buy a recharge card, you're going to be able to call. They want to do it at the fastest speed without you having any issues. So that's what DevOps bring to the table, to make sure that the people that will make that process happen, the processes that will be involved, and the products that would be called into play, everything go very fast and seamlessly. Everything go very fast without any funny business, as we'll say. So now, you as someone practicing DevOps, okay, you need to understand very certain critical things. So like I used to say, this series is actually preparing you for AZ400. Like I used to say to my community members, okay, so if this is your first time coming across me giving you lectures, I'd like you to have what I call a study Bible. So you probably here because you have interest in preparing for AZ400. So what I want you to do, critical terms that you come across, to take note of them, because the more you see them, you take note of critical terms that you're meeting for the very first time, so that next time they will be easy for you to look at. You can also reflect on them. So now we are still looking at the subject of DevOps, okay? We're trying to understand what cycle time and other terms mean. So as you can see from the screen, the process of DevOps is actually to give you value, okay? So now guys, I gave you the example of you buying recharge card from MTN. You bought because you want to be able to make calls. If you bought a recharge card and you cannot make calls with it, there is no value. Or maybe you're trying to make a call, it takes you 5, 6, 7 hours to make a call, and you've already loaded your phone with the credit. You don't have value. So the truth about it is, when the process of DevOps, the continuous
Digitization simplifies the way we collect data. Organizations collect data from multiple Digitization simplifies the way we collect data. Organizations collect data from multiple touchpoints to enable them to make effective, profitable, data-driven decisions. Yet, a lot of data just sits there. Why? Well, organizations operate two systems: operational or transaction systems and analytic systems. Operational systems are data repositories, where you execute business processes. Analytic systems are where you make sense of your data and evaluate business processes. Analysts spend 80% of their time cleaning and preparing data to update routine reports, and only 20% of their time truly brainstorming on the numbers and extracting insight from that data. The result? Less time to ask the right questions about their data, and less time to pull variable insights that can improve your bottom line. At D. Brown Consulting, we have a better approach. We empower you to extract insights from your data at the speed of thought. We employ a curated methodology that simplifies the analytic build process to eliminate technical friction, making it easier for everyone in your organization to get the exact data they need securely. The best part? All of this can be done without relying on overburdened IT teams. D. Brown Consulting offers consultancy services in building, reporting, and analytics systems. As Microsoft Gold partners, we offer business process automation solutions with no-code and low-code applications, chatbots, and robotic process automation engines, and financial modeling services. We visualize our reports, dashboards, and analytics using the principles defined by the International Business Communication Standards, IBCS. The use of standardized notation eliminates ambiguity and ensures consistency in the design of your visualizations for more effective data storytelling. Are you looking to achieve more with your data? Contact us today. Visit D. Brown Consult.
You have a learning goal, and we have just one job to help you achieve it and deliver at your convenience. Learning right starts with us at Hashem Academy. We are a learning institute in partnership with professional industry bodies like Microsoft, PECB, Pearsonville, and PSI, delivering
Welcome to the Pride of Symbols, a people driven by the passion for excellence and the courage to take on big challenges and see them through. With integrity of mind and systems, our words, structures, and processes are always dependable. We are proud of who we are, what we do, and what we stand for. Firm is our commitment to the vision to build a globally recognized distribution company and to become the key driver of trade revolution across Africa. We have been empowered to make products and services accessible, affordable, and usable across Africa by building an efficient distribution network, and to remain the market benchmark for dynamism, efficiency, and competitiveness. We are rulers. We provide order. With confidence, enthusiasm, and wit we speak. The vulnerable and voiceless we empower. This is me. This is TD Africa. We rule. We conquer. We are Simba. Welcome to the Pride of Symbols, a people driven by the passion for excellence and the courage to take on big challenges and see them through. With integrity of mind and systems, our words, structures, and processes are always dependable. We are proud of who we are, what we do, and what we stand for. Firm is our commitment to the vision to build a globally recognized distribution company and to become the key driver of trade revolution across Africa. We have been empowered to make products and services accessible, affordable, and usable across Africa by building an efficient distribution network, and to remain the market benchmark for dynamism, efficiency, and competitiveness. We are rulers. We provide order. With confidence, enthusiasm, and wit we speak. The vulnerable and voiceless we empower. This is me. This is TD Africa. We rule. We conquer. We are Simba.
Digitization simplifies the way we collect data. Organizations collect data from multiple touchpoints to enable them to make effective, profitable, data-driven decisions. Yet, a lot of data just sits there. Why? Well, organizations operate two systems: operational or transaction systems and analytic systems. Operational systems are data repositories where you execute business processes, Analytic systems are where you make sense of your data and evaluate business processes. Analysts spend 80% of their time cleaning and preparing data to update routine reports and only 20% of their time truly brainstorming on the numbers and extracting insight from that data. The result? Less time to ask the right questions about their data, and less time to pull variable insights that can improve your bottom line. At D. Brown Consulting, we have a better approach. We empower you to extract insights from your data at the speed of thought. We employ a curated methodology that simplifies the analytic build process to eliminate technical friction, making it easier for everyone in your organization to get the exact data they need securely. The best part? All of this can be done without relying on overburdened IT teams. D. Brown Consulting offers consultancy services in building, reporting, and analytics systems. As Microsoft Gold partners, we offer business process automation solutions with no-code and low-code applications, chatbots, and robotic process automation engines, and financial modeling services. We visualize our reports, dashboards, and analytics using the principles defined by the International Business Communication Standards, IBCS. The use of standardized notation eliminates ambiguity and ensures consistency in the design of your visualizations for more effective data storytelling. Are you looking to achieve more with your data? Contact us today. Visit dbrownconsulting.net.
You have a learning goal, and we have just one job to help you achieve it and deliver at your convenience.
Welcome to the Pride of Symbols, a people driven by the passion for excellence and the courage to take on big challenges and see them through. With integrity of mind and systems, our words, structures, and processes are always dependable. We are proud of who we are, what we do, and what we stand for. Firm is our commitment to the vision to build a globally recognized distribution company and to become the key driver of trade revolution across Africa. We have been empowered to make products and services accessible, affordable, and usable across Africa by building an efficient distribution network, and to remain the market benchmark for dynamism, efficiency, and competitiveness. We are rulers. We provide order. With confidence, enthusiasm, and wit we speak. The vulnerable and voiceless we empower. This is me. This is TD Africa. We rule. We conquer. We are Simba.
Hello. Yes, apologies for the short cutting transmission. We are about to. I'm going to take over from where the current speaker is currently. When he's back, I'll go back. So quickly, you were taking through how the concept DevOps comes about, Azure DevOps in particular. So from team foundation, version control system to DevOps. So quickly we move down to next slide. That will take us to as we all know that okay, DevOps is union of people, process, and products to enable continuous delivery of value to end users. What this means is that if you look at the CI/CD concept, as we speak now, there's a new concept, a new CD that's added. So it's now CI/CD CD. CI simply means continuous integration, which means that is the early stage when you are in your development process, development journey. The first process is to continuously integrate your code from your local repository. Let's say you are developing your code from your local PC. That will move gradually to the ones in your GitHub repository. Then from there you can move down there to Azure DevOps. So now what we have now is, if you are to transition from now, when a company has successfully integrated their system, from the integration journey, they will move down to continuous delivery. Continuous delivery is at the stage whereby you are trying to integrate your code from the development environment down to the production, down to the staging stage and to the production stage. If you look at very well, there's no difference between to me, I used to tell people that there's not too much difference between the staging stage and the production environment. In fact, when your code is at the staging stage already, that is where the QA testers comes in to test your code. At that time, it's almost ready to go to the market. That is when it will be pushed to the production stage, and that is when we have the continuous delivery. Then continuous deployment, which is the second CD. As I said, there's a new concept, CI/CD, that is coming up. So now you now have it that, okay, at this continuous deployment, that is where you must organization ensure that, okay, there's a continuous addition of their code. Their code is constantly deploying. There is no downtime. In DevOps, like Azure DevOps in particular, Azure has designed it in the sense that Microsoft has designed Azure DevOps in the sense that you cannot, hardly before you can have downtime, as long as you have set up your CI pipelines and very well from your backend, so you do not have any downtime. So that's what, like the key word to take home in this DevOps definition is people, process, and product. People here are those who are involved, the people from the development team, your developers, and the people from the operation team. And the process are the processes that you put together to get this code live. And what you are delivering at the end of the day to your customer is a product. And it is expected that this product continuously scale to deliver satisfaction to clients. That is, if you look at from the screen there, you see, according to the Nevada brand, if you look at that link, you will get more divination about it. And the logo and the diagram here is when collaborate, and from the planning stage, you continuously build, continue in it, and get feedback, then integrate your code, deploy and operate. That is how DevOps journey starts. DevOps processes start. So the next slide now would be, what is DevOps continue? Okay, understand your cycle time. Cycle time is how long it takes from you to get your code from the dev stage to the production stage. So here, when in your cycle time, you have to observe, you have to rent and decide act. It is normally represented by the abbreviation called ODA, by the acronym called ODA. Then become data informed at this stage. Strive for validated learning. Shorten your cycle time, optimized validated learning. And for those of us that are preparing for the SZ400 exam, and this is very key to you to pay attention to what the cycle time means. And you can go out of the section context to get your hands dirty, mostly on Azure DevOps. What you need to have to be able to access Azure DevOps environment is for you to have Azure subscription, and that is that. So just what all you need. So now we move down to the next slide, which is explore the DevOps journey. If you look at, as I've said before, continuous integration. When you are at this stage, the aim should be that your build should be successful. And when we get our hands on the demo section, you see that, okay, how you run your pipeline, and at the end of the day, you should get an email notification, okay, your build is successful or fail. And as a DevOps engineer, your aim should be that your build should always succeed. And when that succeeds, you can imagine the joy that you have. Okay, now we go down to continuous integration according to the information we have on our screen. So continuous integration drives the ongoing merging and testing of code, which leads to finding defects early. Yes, at the continuous integration stage is where your QA testers comes in. Here you take your time to check that, oh, okay, all the code are devoid of bugs. You're able to figure out anywhere that you have deficiencies in terms of code quality. You're able to, if you are running all the programming languages has their testing platform, like like if you are using ASP.NET, as a programming language, they have SonarQube that you use to test your code quality. If you are using Java, Jacoco is there. Other ones are there. And at this stage, your Jenkins environment has to be, in case maybe if you are using Jenkins, but nowadays with Azure DevOps, you may not, Azure DevOps giving birth to CI pipelines, Azure DevOps CI pipeline, you may not really need your Jenkins environment. Or before now, people usually use Jenkins as one of the core leading CI/CD pipeline. So at this stage, Azure DevOps has come to replace that. So we move down to continuous delivery. A continuous delivery stage of software, that is when you deliver continuous delivery of software solutions to production and testing environment helps organizations to quickly fix bugs and respond to ever-changing business requirements. So at the delivery, the continuous delivery way is for you to ensure that you are able to continuously deliver this software to the production environment. Okay, I'm going to hand over to the co-speaker of the day, and which is Mr. Ravel, and he's back now. Okay, so Rafael, over to you.
Digitization simplifies the way we collect data. Organizations collect data from multiple touchpoints to enable them to make effective, profitable, data-driven decisions. Yet, a lot of data just sits there. Why? Well, organizations operate two systems: operational or transaction systems and analytic systems. Operational systems are data repositories, where you execute business processes. Analytic systems are where you make sense of your data and evaluate business processes. Analysts spend 80% of their time cleaning and preparing data to update routine reports, and only 20% of their time truly brainstorming on the numbers and extracting insight from that data. The result? Less time to ask the right questions about their data, and less time to pull variable insights that can improve your bottom line. At D. Brown Consulting, we have a better approach. Digitization simplifies the way we collect data. Organizations collect data from multiple touchpoints to enable them to make effective, profitable, data-driven decisions. Yet, a lot of data just sits there. Why? Well, organizations operate two systems: operational or transaction systems and analytic systems. Operational systems are data repositories, where you execute business processes. Analytic systems are where you make sense of your data and evaluate business processes. Analysts spend 80% of their time cleaning and preparing data to update routine reports, and only 20% of their time truly brainstorming on the numbers and extracting insight from that data. The result? Less time to ask the right questions about their data, and less time to pull variable insights that can improve your bottom line. At D. Brown Consulting, we have a better approach. We empower you to extract insights from your data at the speed of thought. We employ a
Hello. So we're going to continue pending Wi-Fi will be up fully. So I was saying we have continuous. By now, you should be able to explain the concepts of continuous delivery to even a newcomer in DevOps, and you should be able to ask your exam when you are asked about continuous delivery and continuous deployment. Continuous deployment is different from continuous delivery. Continuous delivery comes before continuous deployment. Continuous deployment comes after your code is already fully in production stage, and you continuously add value and deploy to customers. So that's when continuous deployment comes in. So there are two different concepts. As I said before, the concept is now CI CD CD. That's the new concept in DevOps. So, and we have what they call explore the DevOps journey. We are continuing from that. The version control usually with a Git-based repository enables team located anywhere in the world to communicate. We have been hearing about Git for over years. As long as you are in the field of DevOps and deployment and everything, automation. So Git is really, really key. Version control is one of the leading version control out there. We have others like GitLab and many others like that, but Git still remain the leader. So it's where you are able to host your code and all that. So agile and lean, then plan and isolate work into sprint, breaking down your works so that every members of your team will be able to participate. You're able to figure out where there's an error and fix on time. Manage team capacity and help teams quickly adapt to changing business needs. That is in your DevOps journey. One of the things you need to consider is to manage your team capacity, ensure that everybody is quickly adapt to the changing needs of your business. So a DevOps definition of done is working software collecting telemetry against the intended business goals. So what this means is that when you're able to collect all the working software, your software are working, and when the aim, as I said before, is at the end of the day you're able to deliver, we are able to make the customer satisfied in terms of your process delivery, in terms of software deployment and all that. So we move down to, you look at the diagram. The diagram is what you can always explore later because of our time. So we move down to the next one, where we also continue. Then in continuation, we have to constantly monitor and monitoring and logging of running applications. There are monitoring software out there that you can use to monitor logs and traces in your deployment, in your software. Because cloud, then public and hybrid clouds have made the impossible easy. Then you have to utilize the cloud platform like Microsoft Azure, which is one of them. So you need to how to utilize for you to host your code and all that. So if you look at, and for me to come in and say, okay, if you discover, in case you are asked, DevOps is on that platform as a service. When you are talking about um, cloud service offering types, DevOps is among is Azure DevOps is platform as a service. It's not infrastructure as a service. So take note of that. So we have you're explaining infrastructure as code, enable the automation and validation of the creation and tear down of the environment to help with delivering secure and stable application hosting platform. So if, for instance, like in your DevOps journey, there might be some time you need to utilize the infrastructure as a service platform. Sorry, infrastructure as a code. Oh, okay. Apologies for that. I mistake that. So infrastructure as code is something like Terraform that are out there. Is to enable you to templatize your deployment and all that. So someone asked, how about continuous monitoring? Yes, continuous monitoring comes in. That will come into the last CD that I talked about, like continuous deployment. Your money, your you have to put up a measure in place to continuously monitor your application performance and ensure that there's nothing like a breakdown. Okay, so we move down to explore DevOps journey continued. Okay, containers. We have a lot of containerized platform that Microsoft Azure has Azure Kubernetes service. Azure AKS is a popular containerized orchestration tool for Azure, a managed container containerized tool for you. DevOps may hurt at first. Yes, it might not be that easy for an organization to just start up on DevOps. So in that case, you have to do a workaround and ensure that everything is probably done and in place before you embark on your DevOps journey. So another outline that we move to is identify transformation teams. There are several challenges when creating teams. Availability of staff, disruption of current procedures, and increasing. Of course, you may find it a little difficult when you are starting up new, because your existing team may not be able to handle DevOps process, and you may need to maybe get more hands to help you deliver the transition from the normal way of doing things to a new process, because DevOps is all about transitioning from where you were before to a new level of in terms of software deployment and all that. So disruption of current processes will surely disrupt the current processes in during your transformation journey. So how to overcome the challenges, create a team that is focused on the transformation, well respected in their subject areas, internal and external to the business. So what this simply means is that the new team you will form to champion your DevOps transformation journey has to stay focused on the core goal of achieving a successful continuous integration and delivery. And they also have to be in terms of, maybe we have different people working with different opinion. They have to be they have to respect each other's opinion, and because no idea is bad, no idea should be neglected. Your team should be able to respect other people's views among the members of the team. So, and they should be able to when you are forming a team, the team might also consist of the internal and external members of the organization. Your external people here is all about the customers whom you are hoping to deliver a software on a timely basis, faster to them. So we have explore shared goals and define timelines. So project must have a clearly defined set of measurable outcome, like reduce the timeline spent on fixing bugs by 60%. Now at this stage, you need to do a proper homework when you are at the development stage. That's the continuous integration test. You need to deploy all the available testing tools that you need to fix your bugs at that early stage, so as to avoid being stuck at the production stage. So that's why you need to make use of the staging stage, whereby you ensure that everything is fine before releasing your product to the production stage. One of the key aims of DevOps is to provide greater customer value. So outcomes should have a customer value focus. Yes, whatever you do, the aim is to deliver successful outcomes to the customer. Reduce the time spent on unplanned work by 70%. Reduce the out of hours work required by staff to no more than 10% of total working time. Remove all direct patching of production system. So these are some of the tips you need to apply when you are embarking on your DevOps journey. So explore shared goals and continue. Okay, measurable goals should have timelines that are challenging yet achievable. When you are setting goals, those goals should be measurable goals, and they should also have set timelines to them and all that. So let's quickly run through. Because of our time, we are not going to do just because I'm sure there are newcomers among us and who are also starting up for and maybe looking for ways to pass their AZ900, AZ400. So I will advise that when you are free and in the course of your studying for your exam, or you need to explore the AZ400 learning part, which is already there. By googling it, and the thing will give you what you need. So while that is going on, let's quickly go through some of these. Timelines should be a constant series of short-term goals, each clear and measurable. Each of the goals must be measured. You should know where you are, where you are heading to, where you aim to be in your development process and also operation process. Remember, DevOps is a combination of those two teams, development and operations. Shorter timelines have advantages, easier to change plans and priorities when necessary, reduce delay between doing the work and getting feedback, easier to keep organizational support when positive outcomes are apparent. So we move down to the next slide. Choose the right project. It's not about when you are developing when you are embarking on your DevOps journey, you have to be very careful about the kind of project you are choosing. Yeah, we have about greenfield and brownfield project. Greenfield project developed in a totally new environment. That is when you are just developing your new software from scratch. Nothing to lay your hands on. But most time, I usually though none all of them are good. Both the project types are good depending on your organizational needs and your business needs and whatever you are embarking on. So that's when you decide, oh, am I to start new? Am I to start afresh? Maybe like brownfield software project developed in the immediate presence of existing software applications. Maybe like, for instance, my organization now if you have, maybe we have an outdated application that is so monolithic in terms of lacking some microservices feature, and I intend to pick that up, revamp it. That is where brownfield comes in. But if I'm to develop, if my organization is to develop this software from the scratch and make it and utilize the Azure DevOps platform, and that's when the greenfield comes in. So greenfield is about developing it from the scratch, while the brownfield is about picking up from an existing software and revamp it to meet up with the new and modern way of software deployment. So those are the two projects. So decide when to use greenfield and brownfield project appears to be an easier starting point. A blank slate offers the chance to implement everything the way you want. Yes, the greenfield has an advantage in the sense that you are the one that start this project. You know where the box is. You know where to fix the box on time. While if you are picking up the greenfield project, there's a high tendency of inheriting technical debt. What technical debt is all about is about a kind of having to carry on having several bugs to fix and make sure that the software is working back. So comes with a baggage of existing code bases, existing team, and often a great amount of technical debt. Yes. So spending time maintaining existing brownfield application limit the ability to work on new code. In that case, you need to be very, very certain about what you really want. Is it a greenfield or is it a brownfield? So there's a common misconception that DevOps suits greenfield project better than the brownfield, but this is not the case anyway. Both project type can work for depending on what you need. So you move down to decide when to use systems of record because of system of engagement. Then system of record is emphasize accuracy and security. Then provide the truth about data elements historically evolved slowly and carefully. So system of record helps a lot because it moves slowly. It's not like something that is very fast and all that. Then a system of engagement are more exploratory, use experimentation to solve new problems, modify regularly, prioritize, making changes quickly over ensuring that changes are correct. So the two of them is that when you are taking through the system of record, you have the time and everything you need to take your time to assess that all the changes are correct before implementing it. But system of engagement does not consider those things. So you need to also be mindful of the kind of system you use. So identify groups and minimize initial resistance. So different types of staff members, canaries, voluntarily test bleeding edge features, early adopters, then users. Then the canary system is about when your team member are voluntarily doing things, maybe like in a DevOps process, the canary method is not always advisable because in that particular um, staff members who are adopting the canary system method of deployment may just be reluctant about their work and may not be really focused on what they really want to do. So that's what you need to do. Early adopters voluntarily review releases. Users consume the product after canaries and early adopters. So that's how it works. So because of our time, we'll quickly have this. We quickly explore what Azure DevOps environment. is all about. Azure DevOps environment can be accessed through Dev. Let me zoom in my browser so you get to see my screen. Azure DevOps can be accessed at dev.azure.com. So that is when you have to be a kind of in your exam. You need to get yourself involved. You need to get your hand dirty, play around the Azure DevOps environment, get to understand the Azure DevOps component like this, like the Azure board, Azure pipelines, projects, environment, how to do that. I'm going to just sign in here. So all you need to have to be able to access Azure DevOps environment is to have Azure subscription, and with that you'll be able to have that. So we have a while that is being loaded, I will just quickly glance through the slide once more. So identify groups to minimize the initial resistance. Like I talked about that, ideal target improvement can be used to gain early wins are small enough to be achievable in a reasonable time. When you are setting your target, do not over emphasize. Do not kind of compound yourself with large. It's better to start small and then progress to the larger team. That's how DevOps how you can succeed. You can't just jump overnight and become successful. So have benefits that are significant enough to be obvious to the organization. So before you embark on your DevOps journey, you should consider critically, how would this benefit the organization that we are trying to? Because most time it is always more advisable to do your groundwork very well before embarking on DevOps journey, transformation journey. So I move down to the next. Identify project metrics and key performance indicators. Faster outcomes, deployment frequency, deployment speed, deployment size, and lead time. Yes, we all know that if you look at I talked about cycle time the other time. When we use the acronym ODA to represent that, cycle time is how long does it take to. Then the lead time here is the time you start your project to the time you are going to finish it. That's the lead time. So anything that is deviates that is short of the lead time is not encouraged. Then deployment frequency, how fast, what is the frequency of the deployment? Then deployment speed. Deployment speed is a kind of the time, the speed, as the name implies. How long does it take to get this deployed? Deployment size, is it very large? Like I talked about the brownfield project, if you are adopting that, you might have a larger size because you are inheriting a lot of things from the existing project, and that might result to a high level of technical debt. And for you to in your exam, because actually this particular section is all about your exam in particular, when you will be asked how will you manage technical debt in your DevOps journey, the only way to do that is to reduce the code quantity, one of the ways, and this usually comes into at the continuous integration stage. Take note of that. Then efficiency, server to admin ratio, staff member to customer ratio, application usage and application performance. So, and quality and security. Deployment failure rates should also be considered. Application failure rates, mean time to recover, bug report rates, test pass rate, defect escape rate, availability, service level agreement is very key. Achievement and mean time detection. So all these things are what you must consider while embarking on your DevOps journey, and it's really, really key that you take them seriously as a matter of fact. So we move down to we want to also quickly explore Azure DevOps environment. Let me go down again. Dev.azure.com. So I'll just sign in here. So it's just good for you to explore the environment, to get to familiarize yourself with it, even before your exam. So I have my organization called Imo Etuk. You can simply set up a new organization while you are here. Set up the new organization and all that. So you can define your organization, and at the end of the day, you have a URL for your organization. If I want to go to my own organization here, as you can see from the URL from the browser, I have a dev.azure.com/emo, and that would take me directly to my organization. So now let me zoom out a little to be able to access some of the components. This is my own project that I've created. I just call it and name it test project. So under the project, that's when you have to see some of the components of Azure DevOps. We have here with me Azure Board. Azure Board is now replacing something like a Jira and a Trello, where organization constantly use it for interaction. With Azure Board, you can create work items, you can create backlog, you can manage your sprint, you can manage queries and all that. So we have repos. Azure Repo is where you actually deploy your code. Like for instance, if you are deploying let's say we are deploying a .NET application, because of our time, we're not going to waste much of our time. So in this case, to quickly get it done, you can either deploy your code from GitHub directly and import it here, or you 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 clone this repository, this link from your local PC, and push your code here. So in this case, let's see how we can import a kind of a sample code from our GitHub repository. And look at what was explained to you later, TFVC, that is Team Foundation Version Control, but we are going to go through Git. Let's say, okay, this is the URL I want to clone. I can quickly go to GitHub and clone this URL here. But before then, you need to create what is called path. It's called personal access token, and that can be done in your GitHub environment. I'm just trying to play around this because of our time. We may not really explore to the well explored. So what you need to do is to go to your GitHub, get the URL to clone, as in a kind of your repository to be cloned down here, paste the URL here, supply the username of your GitHub, and then enter your password or personal access token that you generated from GitHub environment. So that is how you can integrate, how you can have your code deployed to Azure DevOps, and that when you are doing that, you are utilizing what is called Azure Repos feature. So that is what you need. Then pipelines, where you build your continuous integration pipelines in Microsoft Azure. In Azure DevOps. So when you get your code into the repo, Azure repos, you need to come here and set up a new pipeline and all that. I have one already set before, but and you have to select where your code is hosted. And in this case, since we are importing it from GitHub, you select that, you select Git. Then when you do that, you get to it will take you to another place. Is it Git or GitHub? You select that. So in this case, I have some of I've already integrated this already. You have if I say okay, let me import this. I'm trying to build from this, but I'm sure this is not going to be successful. Which branch am I pushing to? Is it the main branch or the master branch? So that's how you can do. So in this case, take your time to explore Azure DevOps environment, get to familiarize yourself with it and all that. So that we'll call it a day for today's section. Thank you for joining. Should you have any question, you can always reach out to us. Reach out to me directly on LinkedIn. I'm going to drop my LinkedIn profile. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to Raphael on LinkedIn. You can reach out to our moderator as well, Madam Foyi. So we get to the end of the section for today and all that. So I'm going to also drop Azure DevOps learning part on the chat section and all that. So thank you for joining us and have a blessed day. Over to you. Oh, okay. We have come to the end of
Okay.
this section.
So are we still live? All right. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for joining our session today. Apologies for the little hiccup in the beginning, but please remember that this is a series, right? And we're only getting started. So we haven't completed the content of Module 1. So we'll be back to you also in a week's time. So we're taking this every week. We'll be back to you in a week's time to continue the series on the study group for the AZ 400. I will basically continue from where we have stopped today. So like if you have any questions, like Imo has said, you can reach out to himself, Raphael, or me as you begin the journey. And we'll also be posting a link for you where you can have access to some of the labs in which you can use to practice. And we'll see you again same time or an hour earlier next week, Sunday. Thank you very much and have a pleasant week ahead.